Okay, this is my full Nolan Wells timeline with my supporting evidence. There were 3 boats in their group that day: Palm Beach, the Triton, and the Tideline. By the way, if you like my work, you can support me in my bio, because by the end of this video, I'll be dropping never before seen evidence. Anyway, back to the timeline. Warren said they got there at 10:30, even though the GPS said that they dropped their waypoint at 11:19. He said the Tidecraft, the Palm Beach, and the Triton were all like anchored up next to each other. At 3 o'clock, he gets into a fight with some stranger who didn't like the way that he was talking to his girlfriend, because, I mean, look at the way he was talking in this interview, I don't blame them. And they had a fist fight. His uncle was like, "We're getting the hell out of here."
I remember at one point in time, I look over and I see my uncle, and my uncle's yelling at me to get in the boat. I stopped fighting. As soon as me and him made eye contact, I got in the boat.
Then Warren says that his brother was also involved in the same fight.
He'll come up to me and say, "Hey, your brother just got in a fight." And obviously, I have a younger brother, and that's what she was talking about, and I was freaked out. So I walked over to the beach, and I didn't walk over. I ran over. I made a beeline. I talked to anybody, put my drink down, and walked over there. And my brother was kind of angry, and there's a lot going on, but someone was getting pulled away. I don't know who it was, and my brother was like, "Oh, I just got in a fight," and this guy punched me in the face, and I punched him right back. Then I went to the ground. My brother put him in an armbar. And
was Nolan involved in any of this?
Absolutely not. When I was over there was a bunch of younger guys like my brother's age, and I mean, Nolan, I never saw Nolan over there. No. Absolutely not. And okay, sorry, I just lost my.
So you get ready to go. There's an issue with the boat.
Okay, yeah.
And this is
what up to that.
Yeah. So the fight happened. Your brother or the scuffle. I'm assuming that it was cleared up.
Right.
You got your brother out of this situation, and then how did you find out that this boat is sinking?
Well, I walked back over, and like we're probably around each other for a little bit. I mean, I wasn't thinking anything about it. I told my brother off the beach. I was just like, "Listen, get in the water, hang out with us, calm down." I mean, he was calm, but I didn't want anything else to happen, And so once I got back over the boat, I got on the Triton, and the Triton had probably about 6 inches of water up to the transom, and I was freaked out because I'm good friends with Wyatt, and that was his boat, and no water's coming out, no access water's coming out, and it was a big issue because I think the reason was because there's so many people getting on and off the boat. At some point, the boat was very, very crowded, and there's just a lot of people on, so it drags water.
Yeah, that's not how boats work. Boats don't flood getting in and out of water. Mind you, I'd also like you guys to see that they are in much shallower water than they claim. But I digress. As someone whose parents have had several boats in their life, boats don't just start sinking because people are getting in and out of the water. I think they were trying to run as well because there is an underage kid who just got into a physical fist fight on the island. All of them are drinking and driving boats, so they're trying to hightail it out of there. Now, Warren goes into so much detail that he accidentally explains what really happened, but not in the way that he was saying it.
I think over time we were out there for a couple hours. The boat just started filling up with water, so I popped the starboard side hatch, and the battery was completely underwater, and so the motor wouldn't trim down. I mean, my buddy would go to trim it down from the console, and it trimmed down, and then it come right back up.
Now, trimming the motor means they move the propeller closer to the transom and it lowers the bow, which means they can drive through choppy water without risking that choppy water to come into the boat. Failing to trim your boat up and taking off at a high speed can not only overheat very quickly and cause it to shore, but if waves are high, it won't cut through the wake and it will cause the boat to porpoise and possibly have rough, choppy waters get on your boat.
So, I mean, on the way out there, it was pretty calm. I think it was blowing like 3 or 4 knots. I mean, the waters were clear. It was a great day to be on the water. Sunshine, not cloudy at all. And I mean, it was a great day to be out there on 4th of July. And so, I mean, we followed each other out, and I mean, it was calm. It was calm. On the way back, it was a little more rough, but it was not anything all my buddies' boats couldn't handle, or like it wasn't like we were getting really beat.
Now, as you can see, it is tilted up here in the back, and look how low the front is. He admitted that they hit choppy water at one point, so not that hard of a stretch to think that the water started coming over the boat, and that's when they were in trouble. That's when the bilge pump stopped working. Because Warren, when they claimed that they were leaving and he was jumping into action because it was sinking, he says this.
Maybe disabled to where you couldn't get it out.
Correct.
From
Correct.
Horn Island. So what happens after that?
Wyatt jumps in the water, tries to throw a rear anchor, and my buddy Byron, he was sitting looking, trying to pull trash out the bilge, and the bilge is basically a pump that pulls the water, the access water out the boat. So the bilge was failing to work. So any access water just sitting in the boat wasn't getting pumped out. So I looked over the gunnel, and I looked at the release hole for the bilge, and it was eating with the water. So, I mean, we're all freaking out. All of our, we're not focused on anything else other than the boat. Well, then, eventually, my buddy Bart on the timeline is like, "I'm going to pull you all out."
So even though they were still on the island, he jumps out and throws out an anchor? Why did they pull the anchor up to begin with if they were sinking? If they were sinking, why was Bart offering to tow them out? Why would they risk being that close to the island and that close to ground to sink out further? Because again, look at how shallow of water these boats are in. But what I suspect is that everybody just hauled ass and left, but because the trim was not going down, it overheated, that stalled out, then the crashing waves were freaking everybody out. But even Warren couldn't keep his story straight or his timeline straight, because then listen.
All of our, we're not focused on anything else other than the boat. Well, then, eventually, my buddy Bart on the timeline is like, I'm gonna pull y'all out to where we're out of all this, all this chaos. Because
We left at 4:30 and there were still
just as many people there, if not more, than when we got there. I mean, probably around the same amount. It was crazy. Like, there was a lot of people, and
eventually Bart pulls us out. We left at 4:30, but we really weren't pulled out away from everybody. We were probably about a quarter mile out.
So he says it right there that Bart pulls them out. They leave at 4:30. And you may be thinking, well, he pulled them after. He towed them after, but
out. We left at 4:30, but we really weren't pulled out away from everybody. We were probably about a quarter mile out, and we had the towing strap pulled from, Bart's port side cleat or starboard side cleat, and he was on our starboard side bow, and so he was rubbing on his power pole. So Bart turned around, pulled up next to our boat, and we were just trying to get it situated.
So that's when Y called Tito.
we know that that phone call was around 4 p.m. to the private towing company. Now, in my last video, I went into detail with the Bart, the fight, all of that stuff, the discrepancies between like the neck of water and then suddenly being in 31 feet of water, etc. I'm going to skip over that. Now, the last data point for the GPS was at about 8 o'clock that night. So then they go over to a female friend's house to go to the pool. And yet, instead of joining his friends in the pool, this is what Warren did.
At a lady friend's house.
Right. I never got to the pool. I talked to her dad for a while, and all my friends were downstairs. I went upstairs, talked to her dad. We were talking about boats and stuff, and I've been with my friends all day. I was just talking to everybody, but
So you talked to the young lady's dad, and then how long was it before you realized, or you guys realized that, well, where's Nolan at?
All right, well, now I got to stop your ass, because what 18-year-old goes to a friend's house to party, all the friends go downstairs to the pool area, and he goes upstairs to talk to her father about boats? Mind you, these children had been drinking all day long. And he and his buddies don't go home until 3 a.m., mind you. Now, I know it's been a while since I've been 18, but that's a long day in the hot, in the sun, drinking. Sounds to me like you were talking to this dad to help with the story. And then you go downstairs and your friends just so happen to be talking about Nolan, and then you're like, oh my God, I should call the Coast Guard.
I went back downstairs, and all my friends were just hanging out, and my buddy Wyatt had addressed, talk about Nolan. And I was like, well, where is Nolan? Have y'all heard from him?
It just seems pretty convenient that after his powwow upstairs with the father of his friend, he comes downstairs and then all of a sudden they start talking, have you seen Nolan? No, I haven't seen Nolan. Have you seen Nolan? Maybe we should call this person. We should call his mom. Almost seems like they actually go back downstairs after talking about what they should do about the situation with the dad, or whatever it is they were really doing at that time, came downstairs and started talking about Nolan publicly so that everybody at the party could be organic witnesses to when the conversation happened. Because he kept contradicting himself. He kept saying, I wasn't too worried about it, but then also we know that they can kill people, but also, maybe I would just call the Coast Guard, just to make sure it's okay. I'm so mad I didn't save it, but in one of these interviews, they said that Katie was supposed to come to the party with them later, which is why Nolan said he was going to hang back with her. So why would they dry snitch to their friend's mom before getting in contact with Katie? So as I was making this video, I caught something so big it changes everything. Throughout this entire interview, Warren insisted that Bart's boat was a tide line. He was so sure of it, said it over and over and over again, claimed that there were 20 to 30 people on that boat. By the way he talks about boats and the equipment and stuff, it seems like he has some general knowledge of it and knows a lot about boats. So maybe y'all can tell me why, in this report, when they gathered the GPS evidence, does it say that Bart was driving a tide craft, not a tide line? They're entirely different designs, purposes, manufacturing styles. Mind you, this is what tide crafts look like. They ain't fitting 20 people on them. This is more what tide line boats look like, y'all. So did Bart bring 2 boats with him? As Warren said, Bart's dad was originally supposed to go with them. And tide line boats don't fit 20 people either. So was there a 4th boat out there?